Hi, my name is Nikki de Pree. I'm a spatial designer, minor power play, and this is my graduation project about Kinship Homes. 8 years ago, I started my journey at this art school. I was a 17-year-old girl that had an eager to learn, was full of energy, motivated, but was also very young and naive. That's why I took a journey that didn't go according to the regular path. Makes me very happy, but makes me also feel terrible. Makes me happy because I learned so much more than when I took the regular path of 4 years. That's why nowadays I know who I am, what my authentic vision is, and what I want to do next. That's what I learned. Terrible, because all kind of problems kept showing up. Only because I choose a different kind of path than the most of people. And I needed some extra time for my personal journey, but it only gave me troubles. In short, I had to struggle to benefit from our society. Luckily, and eventually, I'm sitting here, so I succeeded. But nevertheless, the problems that kept popping up on my journey and during this process had made me emotionally collapse for several times. And I felt like I had such a high work pressure. In the last years, the academic shows me that and learned me that there are many more social groups that have difficulty taking advantage of our society. And my social minor power play has taught me that this is caused by several changes within our political and economical systems. There are different kind of problem themes that rise up by them, like loneliness, work pressure, what I felt, like high housing prices, housing shortage, and gentrification. It makes people feel lonely. It makes people feel unheard. It makes people feel ignored, excluded, and unhappy. Unacceptable in my eyes. And that's why I want to dedicate my work for these kind of people and for these social groups. I hope as a social and spatial designer to create help tools for them and possible solutions. And I also hope, as a community art artist, to inspire others to do the same. For this graduation project, I have developed a toolbox. This is the toolbox. And this can serve as a help tool for social groups that experienced these kind of problem themes or problems and that have difficulty to benefit from our society. The concept was developed from my research. This showed that there is more activity among these vulnerable groups with the sensus communis sense. This sense appeals to common emotions and feelings between people. In short, they are looking for kinship. A kinship home offers this kinship because you start living together with other family structures and residents. It is an innovative way of living, but it has common ground with groups living and multi-generational homes. It is important that residents of a kinship home have familiar lifestyle in order to realize this innovative way of living, which is based on inclusion and interaction. The goal is to fulfill the need for community and to address the earlier mentioned problems by bringing together residents from different generations, different backgrounds, and different incomes into one home, a kinship home. The advantage of this spatial concept is that each resident brings their own qualities. What is a different problem for a certain group is hardly a challenge for another group. That's why it is important to bring different social groups together and not just like-minded people. The purpose of this toolbox is to find out what the ideal spatial design of a kinship home is. What suits the residents? This toolbox researches a program of requirements for the interior and exterior, activities, the selection procedure of co-residents, and the modular design. At first, I wanted to make a spatial design of a kinship home. Due to the corona crisis, it appeared to be impossible to talk to the relevant social groups and experts. That's why I decided that I don't have enough information to make a detailed and suitable spatial design. It got me thinking, how can I get the right answers? How can these people get the right support? And how could I help the experts to connect with the outside world again? The booklet with the rules of the game and the step-by-step plan explains onder tot slot how these questions are answered by using the toolbox. The residents receive support by developing the elements of the toolbox. The final work teaches them what their wishes are, and the final work is saved and archived by them. When this is done, they hand over the toolbox to me by sending it or personally returning it. I process the toolboxes of a Kinship Home residents into a provisional spatial design and archive their wishes. As a final step, I share my provisional design with the residents and experts involved. The main focus is on the residents. Together, we are going to develop the final design of the Kinship Home and lay a foundation for the healthy, well-functioning community. Who am I? In this element, the family writes who they are. What family structure do they consist of? Why do they want to live in groups? What is their experience with groups living? What help can they receive from or give to co-residents? And what is their lifestyle? With this information and data, residents can be put together to suit each other. When residents have a similar lifestyle, there is a good basis for a healthy community development. And information related to help can ensure optimal collaboration and interaction between residents. Own House and Garden Miniature Edition. In this section, the residents will make a scale model by means of the delivering building kits. They will make a spatial design for the garden and their living space. How much green do they want? What furniture do they want? What elements will be there? By means of spatial work, they can come to new perspectives on a playful way. There is room to experiment and possibly arrive to insights they would otherwise not have come up with. The information from the garden is relevant for the design of a kinship home. On the other hand, the design of the unit is mainly relevant for the residence itself. Modular interior. How does it work? Residents can learn what the modular interior structures mean by reading information cards of various architects. Each information card contains information from a modular architect. The residents learn more about the architectural process of a kinship home. Through this information, they can determine more depth of what the architecture of the building and the interior should look like. The dream program of requirements. Residents can tinker with this element by sticking stickers into the house cards. Which rooms do they want to share? Which rooms are private for use? What kind of activities do they like to do with fellow residents? What requirements should a kinship home have? With this information, you can determine the balance between private and community use of a kinship home. To determine this, it is very important to know the wishes of the residents. A kinship home can fail or succeed because of this. As Christopher Alexander's book Pattern Language Towns already shown, and also in the past cases of groups homes have shown.